The Aloha Hour with Johny and Dewey.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. As always, we have a very, very special guest. I'm going to try to introduce him as best as I can. He is the CEO and founder of Nella Media Group. In 2009, Nella Media Group began as the publisher of Chinatown Newspaper, an urban rag for Honolulu's downtown district. From these humble beginnings, NMG has grown to become NMG Network, a leading video, digital, social, and print network reaching millions of people across multiple TV channels of custom content, 11 publications with in-depth stories and captivating photography, and multiple events across the United States and internationally, including concerts, pop-up shops, and galleries. NMG is committed to developing highly targeted distribution platforms and unique editorial and multimedia content. NMG won almost every award in every category locally, and most recently was awarded 2 Emmy Awards for short format program and community public service category. He is Jason Cutinella.
Yo! Yeah. Holy crap, dude.
Jesus.
How's that
What's
for
up?
intro?
I know you're an entrepreneur yourself, but I'm hiring salespeople. You pitched me well. Thank you, guys. It's awesome to be here.
To my defense, I took it off your guys' website.
Yeah. Okay.
I couldn't even read it that well.
Okay, Jason, in layman language, right? Yeah. What the fuck do you do? Yeah. What the hell is Nella Production? Like, get into it, like, really start out kind of what you do now, and kind of start your, like, what the hell at one point in your life you go, this is what I'm going to do. And here you are.
Well, I always, first off, thanks again, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I always start from the beginning of how I ended up in Hawaii.
Maybe before we're going to start that juicy part, we're just going to say thank you to our friends at Southern for spoiling us with this Glenlivet, and we're going to open it. This is a brand new Glenlivet. It's called the Caribbean Reserve. Let me pour some.
And I have a Caribbean story later in the day.
Woo!
Look at that.
All right.
Dang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can continue. In the meantime, I'm going to pour us some drinks.
Okay.
Yeah. No, cool. So, let me rewind.
Yeah.
To 1997.
Wait, hang on. Let's go back. How old are you today?
I don't celebrate.
Okay, good. Perfect.
My birthday.
Right.
But
were we born and raised, right?
Yonkers, New York.
A New Yorker.
Yeah.
Right, you guys supposed to be in Florida, man. Not fucking Hawaii.
Yeah.
You missed the flight.
I think I made the smart decision.
Yeah.
But Yonkers, New York, however, when I was really young, my parents are city people.
Right.
They didn't want to raise me and my older brother in the city. So I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a place called Beacon, New York, and Poughkeepsie, New York. It's an hour north from Manhattan.
Okay. No.
So anyway, I lived up there, and then after high school, I moved back down to Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right after high school, and I started in an undergraduate college that focused in business and marketing and media. Right near Grand Central. It's called Berkeley College, not Cal Berkeley. Everybody's like, oh, wow. I was like, no, dude, private school. It's got no affiliation with Cal Berkeley. They're like, oh, no, I never heard of it. I was like, yeah, me neither. But I like private schools, right? Because, it's tough. School's tough. I'm not really a student by nature, but it was intimate. I still know my professors from undergrad and graduate.
Yeah.
So, long story short, I'm going to try to make this quick because there's a lot of juicy tidbits in between. Got down to Manhattan, went to undergraduate, specialized, and my degree was in marketing and advertising media. My uncle at the time that worked at the biggest ad agency called McCann Erickson, he was an accountant. He goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm in Manhattan, Uncle, man. I'm going to bartend. I'll do anything. I'm here. This is, it's Manhattan, New York. He's like, you're going to school for all this stuff. Why don't you try to get an internship at this ad agency I worked for? Not knowing anything, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Told my professors where my uncle worked. They were like, dude, that's the biggest ad agency at the time. If you could get an internship there, this could kind of help you kind of going. So I've been doing what I've been doing for 23 years. So that's what a lot of people don't know in Hawaii, because I just kind of work and put my head down. But if this is my space, media, and we'll eventually get to that. So got the internship as a sophomore. They kept me all the way until I graduated. After I graduated, I went to Sony Music. I worked in the marketing and publicity department for pennies. I didn't care. It was all about kind of getting experience. 9/11 happens. The music industry kaplunks, right? Sony Music lays off 3,000 people. I'm one of them, right? My boss at the time, awesome lady, gave me a year. She's like, you're so low on the totem pole, nobody's going to know that. Yeah, $25,000 a year is not on their fucking Excel chart. Sorry for swearing.
No, it's good. It's
all
okay.
All right, cool.
You're from New York. It's allowed.
Yeah, well, like that.
Yeah, we'll kick you out. You don't fucking cuss.
Yeah, all right,
You're
cool.
from New York.
It's like, fuck is this, it's in my brain.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, it's okay growing up.
Yeah.
So I got a year. She was like, all right, dude, I'll give you a year. So I worked for a year. Sure enough, the day of the year, 3,000, all of us gone. So now it's like 2003. I was like, I'll get a job. I got this cool resume. I'm young, right? Blah, blah, blah. No jobs. I was getting jobs in like healthcare, which is probably the smarter decision because it's like the industry that's never going to stop. So I couldn't get anything in media. So 2003, kind of like this with my buddies. After a few glasses of whiskey, I go, I'm moving to Hawaii, man. And they were like,
Have you been here before?
Never even touched it.
Really? And what was it about the ad, whatever the hell you saw? You
180 I needed, a lifestyle. It's like I've been a New Yorker
all your life.
all my life.
Yeah.
And it's funny, when I was at Sony, part of my job in publicity was sending all the college newspaper CDs to do CD reviews. So I would always send them to Hawaii, and I would talk to these people at their newspaper, the little newspapers for the schools.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that place sounds pretty magical. So 2003, around, I would say end of summer, having a few drinks right in Manhattan. I go, I'm out. And they were like, get the fuck out of here. Next day, I woke up. I'm like, dude, I'm moving. I'm going to stay here, have Christmas with my family, holidays. I'm out. All right, right after Christmas. December 26th, 2003, I was like, I got in a car with a buddy. One of my buddies is like, I might as well move to Hawaii too, man. Right? And he needed.
Did you know anybody here at all?
No,
no.
dude.
Okay, no one. Just you two.
No, nobody. And like he needed to finish undergrad.
Yeah.
And I went to school out here for HPU. So every time, there's a downfall in my life, I need to sit back, relax, and figure out the next move. Being out there as no jobs in my industry, I said, I might as well go to school. Why not? Right? So I moved out here, drove across country. This is a theme of my life, driving across country, being I just did it 2.5 times the past 5 months. But drove across country. The stories is maybe for another time, but these are good stories. But long story short, I ended up in L.A., one-way ticket, landed here January 9th, 2004, and with $900 in my pocket. And my buddy at the time was collecting unemployment from New York.
Yes.
And then that's where it begins. And then I got my job at the old Hard Rock Cafe as a server, bartender, and then I turned into like their night shift, like marketing door guy for all the events.
Wait. Back then, was Hard Rock at the old location, right in the
center.
corner?
Yeah.
Should we cheers real quick?
Yeah.
Let's treat it
There you go.
Tropical Caribbean.
Cutinella. All right.
Glenlivet, thank you.
Thank you. And let's remember to talk about the Caribbean later, because where I am today, it's humbling that I'm about to say what I'm about to say with the Caribbean. So it's kind of cool.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's smooth.
Strong.
Strong as shit.
That is real strong.
I'm gonna be the
And
first
it's-
Asian guy with hair in my chest.
You can have some of mine,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, dude. I'll be the first.
You want some?
Really?
I got some.
Fuck yeah,
I'm
I do.
actually, like, you would think I'd be a hairier Italian,
Yeah.
hence my beard. But I was gifted with no back hair, thank
Wow.
God.
Thank God.
Italian, no back hair?
No back hair.
Really?
Well, there's a questionable. My father, he was very dark. And he had like, he could.
Sicilian, maybe.
He was.
Yeah.
So he was northern Italy, and, so maybe that's why I have no back hair. Who knows?
All right.
This is actually pretty good.
That's super yummy.
But yeah, flew here, 2004, Hard Rock Cafe. And sorry, it's taking a while to get to your original question, what the hell fucking NMG is.
Yeah.
But this is all part of it.
Yeah.
Of course, we need to understand who are you
This-
to
this is-
understand
This
who
is the
NMG.
foreplay before
This-
the,
this is-
the
this
big
is-
O.
this is-
You go,
and,
man.
and the foreplay was the only way you could do a business in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You cannot come here as a New Yorker and go, I'm going to start a media company. You get spit out. And
100%.
you'd be like, get out of here. So, Hard Rock, grad school, meeting my friends. all similar friends. I've known these guys. I've been here 16 years now.
Yeah.
I was at the door of all the big club promoter guys, checking IDs, meeting the Zach Noyles and my Travis, all my boys, like coming in, like, who's this guy? I was just the face of these parties.
Yeah.
And it was a fun time. 2004 to about 2009 was extreme partying out here.
Yeah.
It was a whole different type of party, and it was like, I was like, this is the most magical place in
Earth.
the. And I was like, is this real? I would tell my brother and my friends, I'm like, you don't even fucking know where I am. They're like, dude, whatever, you're in Hawaii. I'm like, yeah, dude, come out here. So they were coming out for the first 5 years. I had a friend every month. I'm not lying at all. Every month. So that's 12, 24, 30. I've had some friends have been here 20 times already, childhood buddies. So did that. Graduated 2004, 2007, went to HPU downtown. Love it. That's why I live in Chinatown. I work in Chinatown. My business started in Chinatown. Fell in love with it. Met the most beautiful friends I could. I have friends in Hawaii longer than I do back home as an adult. It's kind of wacky if you really think about it, right? And just got through school, graduated. I go, well, how am I going to stay in Hawaii? How am I going to stay in Hawaii? And I go, well, I know media. That's my background. I went to school for it. I come from that. And I looked at all the ad agencies around, and I was like, there was something off. They're great. I respect them, but they weren't thinking in this modern mindset, man. Like, we have all these beautiful stories to tell, but it felt like it was from the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't start my company in 2007, but this is how I met a lot of my good friends, and this is why your former guest, Zach Noyle, were really close. We worked at a magazine called Heavy Water Magazine, and that's no longer around. It was H2O, I think, at the time, right? And I was me. I was the marketing and sales and promotion guy. Non-surfer, still don't surf, but I had Zach Noyle. He was the photo editor. I had my buddy Daniel Ito, all successful guys that works for, he's a marketing guy at Zippy's. He was the editor. My boy Alex Wine was the designer. And we had this OG guy named Rita Noy, which was like the old king of surfing out here, right? He did all the Pipe Pro and the Master and all that good stuff. And he had all of us running his magazine. So I did that from 2007 to 2009. And then I was like, man, if I want to stay in Hawaii, it's not going to be through a surf magazine. There's not enough money in surf marketing. There's the brands that we all know because we live here. But the rest of the world doesn't know surf brands unless you live in a shore type of environment, right? So I was like, I don't know, man. I built my relationships. I feel like I built the respect of locals because that's at the end of the day, once again, that's it. You can't do business, especially to where I'm at today, without having the respect of the locals. So I kind of built it from 4 to 9. I got a little clout and just a little respect, like, oh, this guy's not just a New Yorker. He's here with us now.
Yeah.
And then in 2009,
I have to admit that knowing you from town and knowing you from the scene, you have a lot of respect from everyone around you. So, this is something that is very evident in how people treat you and how people look at you and respond to what you say. They know you're not fucking around. You're serious and you paid your dues. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. That means a lot. It does mean a lot coming from you, and it is paying the dues, right? Like this, and this once again, we'll get to the Caribbean story later. It's the Caribbean. I love this liquor. Sponsors more. But once again, you can't do this shit coming into Hawaii. I've seen it. They get thrown right out.
100%.
And I've always tried to just be me, genuine. They still, I don't own an Aloha shirt. Do you know what I mean? I was wearing Vans back east, but I haven't changed my style as long as you know me ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't been wearing my navy blue collars during COVID, but I was like, I'm going to be on camera. I might as well put my collar shirt back on. I'm taking it off when we leave. But So
To
2009.
his defense, it's true. What he says is true. Like
I don't have one.
Yeah, 100%.
I could probably get sponsored by any one of my clients. I was like, if you have me wearing an Aloha shirt, I'm not like, no offense.
Yeah,
like
not
I'm
me.
gonna look ridiculous, even though some of them are dope. You know what I mean? Like a lot
But
of my.
it's just not Jason Cutinella.
I said do a navy on navy or black on black. I'll wear it.
Yeah, black
long
on black.
sleeve. I'm saying everything that's not an Aloha shirt. Like,
Black on black, long sleeve. You got it.
Yeah, like the the flower has to be darker than the shirt
Yeah.
or something like that. Somebody makes those, I'll wear it tomorrow. Navy blue. I've been settling down from the black just because my features are so. And it was too much. I look like a Guido from New York.
No.
Nah, you would never guess.
You, Guido from New York?
Living in Chinatown. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know.
So I wear navy. That's I toned it down. If you know, it's a little lighter.
Makes it so subtle.
It's a more subtle.
Kanye West thing. Keep it dappy.
Yeah. So, boom, 2009. Now I could get to your question.
Okay.
I started, and this is like nowhere what I'm doing, but it's the heart of me. Chinatown is special. Like, I literally been down there for 16 years. People are like, my local friends are like, what are you doing down there? And now look at it. 16
amazing.
years later, it's like, right now is a little shaky, but it's going to rebuild, but I was like, no, man, this is the spot. It reminds me of home, but I got 3 minutes to the ocean. Like, it's beautiful. So I just planted myself down there, and I started with a thing called Chinatown Newspaper. I literally had a newspaper that talked about Chinatown. That's it. There wasn't much to talk about, in
Okay,
2009.
I want to know, you have this idea, you come to your friends and you tell them, guys, I want to do a newspaper, Chinatown. They think you're crazy.
Completely crazy. But then I go, it's only an inn. And then that's when I got into hospitality and travel, right? So the Chinatown was just to launch out of the surf magazine.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I was a believer of Chinatown, and I still am. So I needed to create a media source so I could go and turn and sell advertising. So I created an 8-page black and white newspaper, and my first client was like Hawaii Theater. They did like the back page ad, and then I hustled around to all the little mom and pop shops, and I sold ads. But in the back of my head, I know this definitely is not going to make me money, and it's not going to sustain me, all right? But it was an in. It was like, oh, I see Jason went out on his own.
Yeah.
He left the surf magazine. He's doing that. But in the back of my head, I was like, how do you stay in Hawaii? You're either in the military or catering to the hospitality or the tourism, right? And I said, well, I got to get into the media play.
Why the military?
Why not the military? No, I don't think it's wrong. It's just
Nah,
that's
just
what you do here,
Yeah, just
right?
playing.
You're coming
Yeah,
here for
yeah.
the military, or you're building something in a visitor. So I go, well, who is really curating great hospitality and travel media? There was people, and I respect all my peers, and I guess you would say competitors, but I don't even know if my competitors really know what I do anymore.
Yeah.
They either think, oh, he's a publishing competitor, but on the whole building out the network, man, I don't even think they're seeing it because they're not watching. And that's the thing. You want competitors, right? And I saw this void of like, man, if they're not watching, I'm going to attack, even though it's been 11 years.
Yeah.
So the newspaper is fun. It's kind of where my core is. I actually had this newspaper in Portland, Oregon, and they were talking to each other. So I own ChinatownNewspaper.com, like this basic Chinatown newspaper. That's a pretty cool domain name. I also own Chinatown Now. So my vision, which did not work, hence it's kind of not really around anymore, was to connect Chinatowns across the world because usually Chinatowns are cool.
That's brilliant.
That's brilliant.
That's really brilliant.
I would love to bring it back, and I secured all the domain IP, right? And it was connected.
I told you, he thinks globally, he thinks big.
No,
He's
that's
not-
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
actually. No, it
everything
really
I do is not-
Every major city has a Chinatown.
Yeah.
And there's coolness within every one of them.
Yeah. It has its own ethos.
I had Verizon call me going, hey, I want to advertise in your paper. And I'm like, cool, yeah, fuck yeah, Honolulu. They're like, yeah, tell me your distribution in Manhattan. I was like, oh, we're on to something. I was like, yeah, we're not there yet. Then I made the website saying coming soon in all these markets. And I only made it to Portland and kind of San Francisco. So I had it in Portland.
So genius.
So the vision, and everybody asks me, how come your domains don't say Hawaii or this? I'm like, that's called /Hawaii, /Caribbean. We're going to talk about Caribbean later. But, we're going to talk about this stuff. And it's a part of how I built my business without any capital. Right. And I'll talk about the Caribbean and how it's all going to be structured. But so Chinatown, however, it's in 2009. It's a bad economy.
Yeah.
I'm going into these markets with a newspaper. The vision was there, but the vision was more this Chinatown Now, digital. And I still think it's still in my back pocket, but I need another group of partners because my team is so focused on hospitality. It's like I almost need to find another Chinatown lover and be like, take this brand out of Nella Media Group or NMG, and then we'll start it over. So if you guys, keep thinking, because it is something. But it wasn't making me money, and now my business partner that's been with me, and I like to say for the beginning of NMG, he was at Go Airlines. Do you remember that airline?
Yeah, of course.
And it wasn't liked very much, but in my eyes, is like, well, that's an in. So the RFP, the bid came out to do his in-flight, and he was sponsoring my parties. His name's Joe Bach. He was sponsoring my parties. He was letting me do a little design work. It was just like, and I was just like, I want to be in that bid process. So we won the bid, right? I start doing in-flight magazines. I go, oh shit! Now you can make money. You know what I mean? Because it's eyeballs, it's impressions.
So you had a publishing company over here, though, and then that's how.
Well, it's Chinatown Newspaper.
Okay, but that's how you hit the deal with them.
Yeah, because the Go Airlines was sponsoring my parties, and I always knew I was gonna start a publishing company, right?
Yeah.
I was like, well, you need the only way to in publishing, and we're talking magazines, right? And we're still very lucrative in some of them, right? But the only way to be successful in my eyes is have multi-platform, right? You can't do one. You gotta do a few, right? So he gave me the bid. We won the bid. We were like, holy shit, we won. That's internal with the people that were helping me kind of do this stuff. I go, awesome. So I go on and make the coolest damn in-flight magazine, not only in Hawaii, ever, wherever, right? And, Honolulu is a beautiful magazine.
Yeah.
They fucking editorial, their photography is great. It's like it's got heritage, right?
Yeah.
But nobody was doing this modern look and feel, right? And we were looked at as edgy when we first started. And then after a while, people were going, oh, they're not edgy. They're just cleaning this shit up. They're making it more modern, right? So that magazine won all sorts of freaking awards right off the bat, right? My partner moved over to the hotel space. What do you think I asked him when he went over to that job? I want to do your book. That book led to another book, to another book. He came over as a partner. So he's more like HR, legality, kind of a relationship guy. I'll go out and sell, and then he'll manage kind of the accounts. And he's loyal. He's been with me, right? He was one of the first dudes that knew about NMG, right? So that was in like year one, like 2009.
Wow.
And then my partner, she's no longer my partner, but she's like a sister, local girl, moves back to Hawaii after undergraduate school, starts Flux. Flux Hawaii is a good local consumer-facing brand. And now she's the editor. She's the one that wants to tell these stories. I have more of on my creative side, it's cosmetic. Design, photography, filmmaking, that's my passion. The actual creating the narrative is challenging. And if you're going to be a company in Hawaii, right, you can't be a dude from New Yorker telling the story. It needs to be local, all right? And that goes back to everything I do within this Hawaii market. So long story short, we loved it with each other we're doing. I go, I'm creating this umbrella company called NMG. Flux will be the brand within it. So now we have a newspaper, we have an in-flight magazine, we have a hotel book, and we have Flux. All right? She's doing all the editorial, right? And her team doing it all. It's got the stamp of approval because of Hawaii, and I took care of the business side, and I kept evolving. So I got to shorten this up because there's so many books that we did. So from 2009 to, I want to say, 2016, it was publishing, but my brain was always, like 2009, you don't think of building a publishing company. You think about producing a content development company that produces these beautiful narratives and stories, but you're thinking digital and you're thinking video. That was always my brain from minute one. Video, I consume media through video. I love it. I suck it up. I just sit there and watch it, and I get it. Reading, no offense, how much I love publishing, the design, the photography is my thing. Reading, for me, I don't know, everybody is different, but it's hard for me to like zone
Yeah.
in, right? But when I watch a video, I absorb it like it's like nothing. So 2000, all right, so now 4 years ago, 2016, I go, and understand this for not, I didn't want to get rid of my business or sell it. I had to come to a decision. Do I sell my publishing company, because how many damn magazines could I do in the state, or do I evolve, right? So when you have partners, how much you care for each other, you could have a little like, I don't know if we're ready, we're not ready. And I go, I remember it. I texted him at like 11:30 at night going, hey man, maybe it's time for you guys to take the company and run with it. We did it. You know what I mean? I don't like, you know, how many ads could I sell? How many books could I do? I love it. I'm still going to do publishing. We met at 7:30 in the morning. They were like, no, Jason, we got to go. We got to go with your vision. I go, we got to shut down our website and we got to bring in filmmakers, right? Not video people, true filmmakers that understand narrative storytelling. So in 2016, I feel like I got one of the best guys. He's one of my best bros. He's like a brother. His name's Gerard Elmore. Great filmmaker. He came on. I told him the vision of this network you're going to build. I brought another.
Is he related to the movie Waikiki that just recently came out?
He helped. And that's so Chris Kahuna Chris Kahuna Hana is one of my literally first friends in Chinatown. He owned next door. I journeyed in there, and if you guys know Chris, he has this cackle. It's like, you know, he's like a character, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Hey man, I just moved to Hawaii. This place reminds me of home." And he's like, and like, and, you know, like, you know, if you know him, you're like, this guy
That's
is
like
nuts.
a Batman character.
He is a character. And long story short, for Waikiki, forget NMG right now. He goes, I want you to be involved. I've been friends with you forever. And I didn't have any money, man. I go, Chris, I don't have any money. He's like, I want you to be my executive producer because we're going to go to all the other people that have the money and we're gonna do this as a team. And I literally, I mean, whether he knows this, I had 15 grand completely wiped out my bank account. I never had enough money to do anything in regards to like future savings. I just don't think that way. It's like, all right, man, well, 15 grand. He could have started a hot dog stand. I would like, here. So I gave it to him because when you're raising money, the first question of other investors will go, what did you do? But I was honest. I was like, I gave Chris my last $15,000, right? And because I'm doing my company, I'm making money. I'm not like making a lot, but I could eat. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, do I save $15,000 or support my friend? Supported my friend. And then Waikiki is where it is today. I mean, shit, man, that took a few years.
Yeah.
And we dialed it in, man, and it's got a good story. But to answer your question,
I saw it, by the way, sorry, but I watched the trailer and it looks like
insane.
high end, like Hollywood shit.
Well, dude, it took a while, but Gerard supports all filmmakers.
Okay.
And that's what I really loved about Gerard when he's building out the network with me, and he's going to own part of NMG. Is like, once again, I brought filmmakers in. I didn't bring video people in. I brought like these are movie makers, and then we bring and that's a good segue into
Caribbean.
The content, the Caribbean, after the Caribbean. But the segue was I always look at my model as you build the villa, you build the mansion, you make the best creative, and then you go back to the advertisers. Because when you're walking in and selling your network, do you want shitty fucking look, or do you want superior?
Yeah.
So in 2016, my partners at the time were like, dude, sorry to interrupt your mojo. They almost were fucking with my mojo, I feel. I was like, you gotta let me, dude, it's here, I got it. I've been telling you this shit for 6-7 years now, right? Shut down the website. I go, if you go to my website, it doesn't say anything what's in my brain. Shut it down. 2 years. People are like, are you still in business? I was like, yep, publishing business. And I had the website, like the static of an old television, just saying coming soon for 2 years. Then I was like, shit, 2 years is a long time to try to grow a business. However, I didn't want to relaunch my website if it didn't look like a video-first company. And I tell all the people in publishing, I'm very open. I've said it to my competitors. If you're trying to do the transition, you can't be a publishing company that hires video people. You got to be a video company that has these brand extensions, I like to called publishing. So I reversed my sale. And we launched our website 2 years later. I got Gerard, I got Francine. I used to work at a broadcast company. And now we're a network, right? And now we're using the same, this is what the cool thing is. people are like, well, how'd you become that? I go, I already had all the partners through publishing. I just switched it into like tapping into their TV. We're building out subdomains now. This is the cool thing on the digital front. You know, to have a hotel give you access to their website's virtually impossible.
Yep.
So imagine I got this hotel's website and I create a media channel. I like to say we build curated media channels, right? And that's a whole, you could go on many with that. But imagine building out these curated media channels, and I'll use Holly Kalani, for example. It's called Living TV, all right? How do you see Living TV? In room.
That's the default channel when you check it.
That's their default. And what's cool about leisure and luxury, content is kind of a part of their journey, so the damn TV's on. When you check in, or it's called turn down. Walk in your room and it's on. Now, most in-room TV is a half an hour of looping horrible content. Mario Lopez is on it. It's just horrible. I landed my first client in LA on a luxury hotel called Shutters on the Beach in Castle Del Mar because the ownership group was at Holly Kalani, and they called me. They're like, "Are you Jason from NMG?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "I've never sat in a hotel room for 2 hours straight. I have programming." And that is what's separating us. In-room television was
I gotta check this out.
Yeah, it's like,
I gotta check this out.
It's just different. Imagine,
It's brilliant. I mean, it's so brilliant in so many ways.
He makes like short documentary films that are so authentic and so real and about so many cool things that literally if you check into your room and then the TV turns on and then you're like, oh, they're doing weaving fucking whatever down the, you're like, oh, what the fuck is that? And then another one, and then another one. It's like short,
consistent programming.
Yeah.
Produce.
So good.
So that's what we did. We were dormant for 2 years. I go, we're not coming back into the market until we have content. So imagine telling these filmmakers and Francine that came from like a big broadcast company out of here, I'm like, don't worry about monetizing it. And that's like, what do you mean, dude? I'm like, don't. So I said, for 2 years, produce. And they were like, awesome. Like, when you have me going, don't monetize, let's build. So we did that. And then when we relaunched, boom. Then if you didn't know who we were, you go to our website and going, oh, this is a film company. These guys are video people. And then you go, oh, shit, they do magazines too? I call them extensions. And that was the whole process. So I told phase 1 was publishing. Phase 2 is really incorporate in-room television. Phase 3 is the money, the gold. It was always breaking into it might not be a good word, but tapping in to a hotel, and not just hotels, anybody's website with a lot of traffic. So now we'll use Holly Kalani. I have Living TV, the book, Living TV. Now imagine a subdomain. It's like living.hollykalani.com or hollykalani.com/living. So now you have all of this virtual channel, right? Now my teams are pushing out this organic content. Their digital team is pushing out this organic content. You're finding the woodmaker story, right? Like, oh, this shit is sick. Like I didn't know that this is a person in Hawaii. But where does it do? As soon as you click on to see it, it goes right back to Holly Kalani's website. So that's the gold. And that is like 2021 and beyond now. So it's finally like this 360 approach, but it took 11 years. Like this has literally been, if I showed you, fuck dude, I might even have it.
I actually remember me and you, we had a meeting about 2 years ago, and you told me, oh, I'm trying to hit this deal with Outrigger, and I just had a meeting with Sean D. We were talking about you and yada yada. And then sure enough, 2 weeks ago, I get an email on the email blast. Jason Cutinella, NMG, signed a contract with Outrigger, all hotels.
6 years in the making. Yeah, and
6 years it took you to finalize the deal.
As soon as I knew Sean D from the Hard Rock days, he was actually the executive at Hard Rock when I was working at Hard Rock as a bartender.
No way!
And then when I saw a press release years ago when he moved here, Sean D steps in as CMO of Outrigger. I literally was like, dude, you're the same Sean D that was at Hard Rock. He's like, yeah, man, I remember you. And I met him at Moana Surfrider, not even at Outrigger, my other client. So he was just like, he's like, you have a broad vision, man. You have a clean vision, but you're asking for a lot. He's like, just keep it up, man. And I did. And then as of 2 weeks ago, It's humbling. Like, this is even crazy to say this in like
No, that's a big.
85%. We have an 85% market share in hotel distribution in the state now.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just like, okay, wow, all right, you know, and we're in this cool place, and it's like, my job, you know, you hear pivot a lot in COVID, right? My job is always to, like, correct people. Yeah, I get what pivot means, and you need to do it in certain industries. What about the word constant evolution? Do you know what I mean? Because if you're constantly evolving, like, you're going to be in a good place, no matter what.
Yeah, you don't need to pivot if you're constantly evolving.
That's it. That's my philosophy. But I do respect pivoting. But it's like, if I was only a publishing company, yeah, we would be in a lot of trouble, man.
But I think it's kind of looking at it in the micro versus macro, because
Yeah.
by the end of the day, you also started with publishing and then you pivot into
Evolved.
networking,
Pivot, yeah.
evolved.
Yeah, exactly.
So for NMG, for the total, let's say total business revenue model, what percentage of your business now is digital, right, and versus print media?
So I call it network media sales now.
Okay,
So I can probably silo it,
Yeah.
but the way my advertisers are buying now is everything,
got it.
right? So
Yeah.
it's not part of it, right?
Yeah, because you're unique, right? Because
Yeah.
you provide like a really just kind of an all-inclusive package for a company to get your brand out there.
Yeah,
right?
if you want to be in Waikiki,
Yeah.
if you have to sell something to someone in Waikiki,
Yeah, I will go
you're
see
gonna
you.
go to him.
Yeah.
Because he has he
Right.
puts you in all those little magazines.
Right.
Plus, you have an advertisement on
Right.
the default channel.
Right.
So it makes sense.
I'm just in my mind. It's like, you know, it's like pricing. Like when I hear what you're offering, I'm
Oh,
thinking,
man.
fuck.
I don't want to tell you what I paid him.
Yeah, I know. It's
and
so.
he got the brother deal.
Yeah.
and-
You know what I mean?
oh my God.
It's not for you.
Jason is expensive.
Yeah, I know. So you're looking at a medium to fairly large business.
Well, you might-
for younger, smaller brand, like because you know Waikiki's made of a lot of small mom
So
and pop
I have
business. You know.
a analogy about that. Like,
Yeah.
I make my money off Fendi, Gucci, Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
But for the smaller brands, you do go down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a regional play.
Right.
A lot of my friends own these cool companies, and it's like, hey man, if Louis gonna pay me this and you pay me, it all
Works out.
Yeah, because they don't question the prices. These bigger brands,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
used to it, right?
Yeah.
And they're actually thinking, I'm affordable because I'm a regional.
Right.
So Louis Vuitton's buying regional,
Yeah.
right? They're not. It's not a Louis Vuitton global ad buy,
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like my goal is to get into that budget.
Yeah.
Maybe Louis Vuitton Caribbean.
We will be talking about the Caribbean.
Oh, Glenn Lilly. No.
But it's not to the point. It's constantly like building out the network
Yeah.
and giving my partners options to do whatever they want, right?
Mm.
You know, and the digital play to me was always the play. You have to, right? But you still have to have, I call it the 3 C's: captive, curated, and controlled, right? If you don't have a network that you can control, you're not going to get the good advertisers. And here's a good example. You could be a successful YouTube person, and I think YouTube is monster, right? But that's called programmatic advertising. You can't control it, right? So you'll have one ad here. The internet world listens to me.
Yeah.
I like ball caps, navy blue shirts. All of a sudden, I'm getting navy blue shirt ads and hats, right? Or Vans, right? Louis Vuitton doesn't want to be next to Target. Do you know what I mean? So the thing that I'm creating, I call, once again, the 3 C's: captive, curated, and controlled. I control the messaging, right?
Yeah.
Captive, I look for captive audiences. And curated is what makes it tasteful, right? So I control the messaging. I control the content. I control the advertisers. I do everything. Now, when I get to build this out on a global scale, I'm going to be able to go back to the Harry Winstons, the Gucci's, and go, all right, this is what we did in Hawaii. Same client. Now we're doing this in the Caribbean. Or now we're doing this in the nation. Or now we're doing it in Japan. Or we're doing it in London. And now you just built out this platform, right, that you just plug and chug.
But how will you, just out of curiosity, how will you create content? You will have to hire people locally in the Caribbean that have the taste of Jason Cutinella.
That's the great question, right? And that's why I'm 11 years in business and I never took money. I needed to make sure our business model worked, and I needed to make sure I had the advertisers. I needed to make sure I had the partners, right? Because it could be all great in Hawaii. That doesn't mean you could scale. So I focused in on who is the advertisers that I know their global outlook. It's those bigger ones. And then every region I tap into, I will work with the local ones and support them, right? But to scale, I didn't want to run around because I've been here 16 years. If I go to LA, I'm not the expert at LA. There's no way. I don't want to be, right? But I understand the demographic of the hotel. I understand who my advertisers are. They have the eyeballs. I call them like brand producers. So that's how we're going to scale. We're going to have NMG people working remotely around the world, brand people, and then they're going to hire the NMGs all over the world. So if they go into the Caribbean, they go there, they're like, oh, I identified that's the creative company.
Yes.
Let's get them. But you have to have a brand producer managing that, and that's where a lot of companies go wrong, because once you just go, they're not gonna match your creative.
Yeah.
So that is a tighter ship of people remote working. But yeah, I want to support. I don't want to just support and make my advertising successful. I'll be able to support ecosystems in anywhere I scale, hiring local talent, creators, producers, and all that stuff. So that's really important. But I'm going to call them, they're like a special ops team, right, man? They're coming in, they don't have to come to the office ever. It's different. We were thinking this way before COVID. I kept going in my office and we're growing. I'm like, does people even what the creative? We used to have a creative space. My office, you would go in, it was like a little party, people like hanging out. Then in 2019, I'm like, it looked like a cattle. There was like rows of I was like, this is lame. This is a waste of cool creative space.
Yeah.
So COVID happened, and I tell people this: worst financial year of my history in NMG, the best year in my personal business world ever. And that's what happened. COVID happened. Obvious. I sell media for visitors. Not happening. You'd be an idiot to try to ask for ad dollars. You'd be like a dick.
Yeah.
Right. So March. Go ahead.
How can you even look at the people in the face like it's
You
even
can't.
you can't, right?
You cannot. Like I heard some other. I won't mention name. I heard some people are still trying to get ad dollars.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you fucking ask somebody for an ad dollar?
I'm dying. I mean, you have such great vision 16 years ago, and you understood where the market is moving, and you understand how important print was, and digital you got to be, and somehow, some way you figure it out, and you put everything into your own pie. Who do you see as the major competitor going forward now, to 2020, going forward, right? And then what about Facebook and Instagram and all that? I'm curious to hear.
3 C's: captive, controlled, and curated.
Yeah, but I'm a small business owner kind of guy, and earlier we talked about budgeting. Guys, wow, I mean, it'll be nothing but a dream for me to afford you, right? Because then the customer can really see, our potential customer can totally see, like the whole vision of the brand going to you, because you are inclusive. But then again, I have this option to Facebook and Instagram. Advertising is like a penny, practically $1, and it reach so much. I'm curious to see you as an owner and founder of a really content. Really, to me, I just see you as a content provider. And how, who do you compare, and how do you see the big guys? The elephant in the room, like the Facebook and Instagram.
The elephants are going to stomp through always, and you got to respect that, right? They do have pennies of advertisement. It goes back to the non-curation, right? It works, dude.
Yeah.
It obviously works. I bought navy blue shirts and hats off of Instagram, Facebook. It is, but it's a different type of buy.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
It's sporadic. Like, holy shit. Cool shirt.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I got it. And it shows up and it looks like the 20 other ones on my shirts. Right? And there's a room for that. However, ours is the opposite of that, right? So the companies that can't afford my media program, and I try to make it like this whole Outrigger program is very affordable, right? Because don't forget, the Outrigger demographic is probably not Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all that
100%.
stuff, right? So we made the cost to fit Outrigger tenants. And that is the cool thing, and you're an Outrigger tenant. The cool thing is I'm not even going to go outside of outrigger tenants until the outrigger tenants are successful, because then that's kind of defeats the purpose. But so to answer your question, that the Facebook, the Instagrams, they will constantly be successful. So what I'm doing that is a little different, once again, is this curation. I will work with a local brand and help them create this documentary style branded content, not for my channels. So some companies, like the small businesses, like, dude, I have no content for Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So I'm like, cool, man, let's create it, right? Cool thing with my team is, like, we're like, once again, special ops. We're not an agency that's going to charge you $100,000. We could come in at we could get certain things down to about $2,000 per episode. Now think about that. So if you want to do like a little 1.5 minute episode and you want to do a show and it has 6 episodes, you could do that math real quick. So we're helping you produce content. And the thing is, a lot of people don't do this in my field. They hold that content ransom.
Yeah,
they're like,
you give it to the customer.
And that's bullshit. So if I create content for your guys' company, why would I hold your content ransom? It's about you and your company.
And we paid you for it,
Yeah,
so it's
but,
ours.
But a lot of people, don't do that.
I was surprised when we got our content to use as much as we want.
But why do I need it? If my true narrative content that's not branded content, that's mine, right?
Of course.
So we'll go in, produce this, and then you go, hey, he'll fly. Let's build this business. You got content now, and then I'll come back to you like, let's say, hey, how you doing? How you guys doing? All right, let's put it on the network, right? And that's kind of the slow path to finding somebody becomes successful. Because if they're not successful, I'm not like, dude, and that's why I said, like, that's why my business model is scared around really curated eyeballs, maybe a little higher end. And I'm not high end, obviously, right? But I know where the dollars are.
Yeah.
And that's where I could go. But I still always will have love for the brands. Dude, it's like, I'm a local company.
But also the editorials that you do about those small companies or small artists, you basically helping them. You pumping the whole community with, those people would never ever could have afford such an exposure.
Nah, dude.
It's huge for them.
What's really cool, if you find the right partner. So this has happened a few times, and we create a show together and we create content together. If we feel on NMG that it's like, oh shit, this is cool, I pop it up on the network. I don't even charge you sometimes because it looks so much like content. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
I'm like, fuck, man, this is not commercial.
Yeah.
But that's a hard partnership because the company and us really have to see eye to eye. But once it happens, sometimes it doesn't work. But when it happens, I'm like, yo, don't even worry about it. It's going up. And then they're pumped. Like, especially, like, for Outrigger. Like, I have a feeling a lot of these tenants are not Louis Vuittons and all that. We're going to create a lot of narrative content. And I'm going to pump their channel, dude. I'm just going to pump it. And then it's going to be...
Well, I can't wait for you to come in and pump their channels.
Well, that's the goal, right? Like, and that's why everybody, like, oh, in-room television, like, ugh. And I mean, that's literally the reason why I got into it. I go, the only reason why it's bad is because it's a half an hour of, like, billboard and, like...
It's terrible.
No, it's half an hour of someone sitting down on a desk, called someone that hired a service on Google to do something, and it doesn't have the love. What I really saw on your short videos, you have a lot of love, very authentic, very real, and you choose topics that are not necessarily common topics. You can suddenly you guys choose a guy that makes poi on frickin' in the middle of the valley.
But that's
suddenly
what the guests...
you bring a fisherman from.
Well, that's it.
That's insane.
Well, that's it, right? The hotels, they try to produce content. It's all about what the hotel thinks the guest. I produce content for the guest, for the passenger. And sometimes when you work at an airline or you work at a hotel and you're the marketing person, and I work with a lot of good market, but they're like, I must tell the hotel story.
Yeah.
No, you don't. They're already at the damn hotel, dude. Do you think the hotel you're a guest already? Do you really need to know about the spa that you already booked, the damn spa? Like, and I'll do those videos all day and I'll make them look cool, but it's like you produce content for the guest or the passenger or whoever. right? And that's where I think companies go wrong. To go to this competitor thing, like, I'll never compare with Instagram and Facebook. They're going to crush it. They're going to keep doing it. I think there's going to be a trend of people logging off, you know, and I focus on leisure, right? The leisure traveler, the one that comes in and is like, fuck, man, I'm hardworking. I just got to check out. They might pick up the book. They want content. They're sitting in their bed, you know, instead of plugging on Netflix or Hulu, why don't they plug on the hotel's channel, curated channel, and watch all the episodes? And Holly Kalani, I'm already on season 9, 45 episodes. That's insane. What hotel in the world? None.
Are you allowed to use the same content now for other hotels?
It's cool. So I have exclusive licensing for the hotel for a year to year and a half, all theirs. Then they have an option to kind of buy up, because I don't charge them sometimes, if they want it exclusive. Because exclusive's like tough to have.
Yeah.
When they're like, nah, dude, it's cool. It's a non-exclusive license, and then I plug it in wherever else. Yeah. So I could. So that's the library of gold, I call it.
Yeah.
Because once you have a library of content, you know.
Now you just.
I'm like, oh, I landed Outrigger. Oh, you want 2 hours of program? Boom. Done. And that's what happened with Outrigger. Instantly, the new Outrigger channel has 2 hours of content. Instantly. Before me, they had 45 minutes. And it wasn't engaging. Not that they have some award-winning stuff. They're nice stuff. But it didn't flow, right? Remember I said the 3 C's? Like, this controlled environment. Like, you need somebody to manage it. Like, so, yeah, you can come in and be competitors. So I have competitors in silos, right? I have publishing competitors. I have video competitors, or I have digital. But they didn't build out the channel. That's the thing. And, like, and I would sit in a room with every one of my competitors and go, cool. Are you going to care as much as me? Are you going to connect the dots? Are you going to go, shit, the print doesn't work no more? Blah. Oh, the in-room's not really working. Blah. The digital's kind of working, right? It's like, no, dude, it takes 11 years. And that's where, like, I'm at a point now. It's like, okay, it was founded here. It's based here. I'm going to live here forever. Now I got to take this model, run, dude. And that's part of my camper van journey when I left in July, was to get out of here and do what I did in 2008 and 9, going, what is NMG? And
let's get into this. Before we start into this, go ahead, John.
No, I just wanted to know, were you with your girlfriend or by yourself?
She met me for a month.
So 2 months, you were completely by yourself.
Out of the 5 months, I was completely by myself for almost 4.
Wow.
Like 3.5, 4.
Ooh, soul searching trip. I love this.
It was
important.
Well, here's the crazy thing.
Yeah, you in your 40 now, motherfucker.
Yeah, now
It's a very important century right now that he's entering.
I needed it, right? Yeah. But here's the thing. I go, everybody's home, Zooming and doing all that stuff. I literally went to Pelham, New York. I was drinking coffee, and the director of advertising for Hermes in her hometown at her outdoor coffee shop. I went to Gucci. I went to Harry Winston. I went to Chanel. They're like, who the hell is doing this? And now imagine a little smart New York powerhouse lady cursing and yelling, going, I have the rep of Kanye Nast that lives a block away, and they're afraid to come have coffee with me. You flew across country, got in a ridiculous camper van. I'll show you the picture. It's ridiculous. I have pictures of them in front of it. And we're talking. I go, yeah. Do you know how quick she answers my email, my thing? Quick she says no advertising, but then she'll say, yes, I'm in. And it's all about that. So a part of that was getting in front of my clients, right? While I'm visiting my mom, my grandma, my friends, all, people that I know.
What was the impetus for you to, I'm going to get off the rock. I'm going to go get on the van. I'm going to go figure what out. What was you trying to figure out?
You ever watch that movie Groundhog's Day? Do you remember that? Well, I think it was Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, that's old.
Every day from March, whenever this happened, 10th, 15th, to July 8th, before I left, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I wake up. I take a shower. I still go to work at 6:30. I still did my routine. And all I did was like damage control of like, there goes the company financially just got my knees cut out. And I was like, what is, and I told my girl, I was like, I gotta go, man. I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? And I was supposed to go for a month. It lasted 5.
Okay.
So
the purpose was to go and figure out your company, right?
what's the next 10
Yeah,
years?
what's the next 10 year, right?
You know, like,
you're trying to see it around the corner.
and that's why I tell you, this is the best. I was on a Zoom call with 25 of my teammates today going, imagine somebody, the founder. I had to re-educate him that I'm the founder.
Yeah.
Like, it was almost like, yo, man, you know, some of you have been with me for a long time, if not the whole thing. Some of you got hired last year. I was just Jason, the CEO, and I hate fucking titles, that, oh, the company's doing good, I'm working here, I'm getting paid. Today, I had to say, like, dude, I have nothing. The worst financial year of my life, right? I haven't paid myself at all this year because the PPP, I got a little money, but that helped me do the camper van trip, right? So I had to, like, really articulate to my team, like, I'm the founder, I built this, nothing's going to stop me. Worst financial year ever. I'm very sorry. I'm doing everything I could to keep you guys afloat. But now it's time to rebound. So I have a couple of words. Like, the word rebound is obvious. If you're not part of the team that rebounds quick, you're done, dude. This shit ain't just happening again.
Yep.
There's no way. You got to be fucking clever.
Yep.
And then it's intense energy. So in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I worked like this fucking... right?
Yeah.
And it kind of, I was always intense energy, but I think the team was getting like, I love working for NMG. They're the coolest media company, and I go to work, and I work hard, and I love them, and I respect that. But then there was a turn-off switch. It was a job, and I commend it. People have to have jobs, and they go to work. But as long as I'm at the helm, they need to know that the founder's out there 14, 18, 19 hours a day. I always say I love working out of New York. I work double shift. I wake up at 8 and I work to 11 at night until Hawaii turns off. And I have no complaints. All right? So that's to answer your question. I something was wrong in like May, June. And I told her, I was like, I'm out a month. She's like, cool, I'll come meet you for a week. She flew in. I go, I'm not going back, man. You know, the month turned into September 1st. September 1st turned into October 1st. October 1st turned into fucking November 1st. It just kept going.
I'm curious to see the first month, because you're all alone, right? What were some of the revelations you discovered about you, Jason, as a human being, as a person, first, then also as an entrepreneur and owner of the brand?
Humility.
Okay.
You know? No longer have, no paycheck no more. I'm living in a fucking van. Starting to enjoy this van. The first day that I got in the van, I was like, I had that little like, oh, this shit's real.
Yeah.
Right? Then the weekend came, one of my childhood buddies put him in the van. We went to like Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And we just went to an RV park in a ridiculous van. Imagine these glampers going, who the hell are these dudes? So I was like, he's like, yo, I got us a spot right on, it's like an RV park.
Just so the audience to understand, his camper was had a purple what on it?
Purple fish. It was
purple fish
it was
on
a
it.
Ford Transit.
And that's how he was traveling.
But it wasn't like people are like, oh, it's a camper van, it's glamping. I'm like, no, dude. They took a Ford Transit, took the seats out in the back, put a bed in it, and you opened the back door. There was a little fucking propane thing, and that was it. You couldn't even stand up. But I was like, this is what I need a place to sleep. So I instantly got to see my friend. Now I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable because I'm with my friend. The minute I drop my friend off, I go, wait a minute, I don't have any plans. I don't. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just, I don't know.
Feel lonely suddenly.
Yeah, it's just like, it was a good lonely, but like, then I was like, oh, I got to go see a client and a quasi friend in Philly, right? Then now he's one of my great friends. This client that I met like through conferences that now is like my homies, my G, Chris. So I got to Philly. Then I was like, all right, I see people. And then all of them invited me inside. Come on, dude, get out. What are you sleeping in a purple fish? I go, I won't ever sleep outside of this fucking van. I slept in people's driveways. I slept in parking garages. I slept in parking spaces. The driveways are the best because imagine you're a friend going, "What are you doing, dude?" I go, "Just give me the key so I can go to the bathroom." So I started getting to that like mojo. I'm like, "No, I'm a van." I'm
So
a fucking van
humility
guy.
was you're looking for like get back to center, kind of
Well,
where
you don't need
were
much, man.
16 years ago. You had nothing. You started the newspaper with nothing at Chinatown. You get back to basic and to where the coreness, the pureness, the passion, what you're all
Creative
about.
free thinking.
Yeah, got
As
it.
I
Okay.
like to say, creative free thinking. Going.
So what was the beginning, at the beginning of the trip, and what was the ending? What was the revelation? What was the aha moment that you derive after 5-6 months on the road about the company? And also, I'm more interested about Jason revelation, discovery of who you are as a person.
So I would
actually.
say after month 1.
Fascinating.
So I was visiting clients. I was
Yep.
doing this. I was doing that. Girlfriend showed up. Never been northeast up to Maine. Brought her up there. You know, working.
Have you ever been there, or this was also new for you?
I've been in the the northeast because I'm from the East Coast. She hasn't. So my job was to bring her on a journey.
Yeah.
Right. Never drove cross country. Never saw the. If you've been to the northeast, Oceanside, you know, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Maine,
Beautiful.
Vermont, like you're like, damn. I mean, it's got the same
Incredible.
beauties as Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's just different, and it gets cold, and
Yeah.
you get the hell out.
Yeah.
But like, so I brought her on that journey, all right, and then I go, all right, I'm staying. I'm not going back. I had to break it to her, all right.
And she thinks you're crazy.
She probably always did, but like,
Yeah.
but she
But
gets
she
me.
knows you needed it. You
She's
were
an
not ready.
entrepreneur,
Yeah, you were
too.
not ready to come home. Yeah, it
I
sounds-
wasn't even.
The answer wasn't there.
I didn't even have an answer to come
yeah,
home.
yeah. There's nothing.
There was
there.
nothing. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have an answer.
What was the aha moment after 5 months? What was the answer that came to you, if any at all?
So
By
the
5 months
journey-
later.
It wasn't 5 months. I'll tell you when it was. So doing all that, I'm still kind of in this energy mode. Like I'm visiting family,
Yeah,
I'm visiting clients. My
yeah.
girlfriend's here. We're gonna go across country. We're saying I'm doing emails, you know, on lakes and just like I literally bought a fold out office. I had a fold out table and a chair. I was like, this is the best office ever. If you're not gonna meet somebody in person, why not work like I work from a lake?
Yeah.
Right? So I was doing
That
that.
is so cool.
And
That
then
is so
Isn't it?
cool.
and then when it really started going, oh, this is something, my company, because in 2009, I had nothing. Now, fast forward 11 years, yeah, I might not be making money. I have the best clients. I have the best partners. These people that I work with are going to rebound. So it keeps going to rebound. Like all my partners are going to rebound. I need to rebound. When will we rebound is the question. But it doesn't matter. Louis Vuitton is not going out of business. Holly Kalani is not going out of business, right? So I was like, all right, right? And we stayed present. We launched a feature film. We won Emmys. We won all these things. I got, and I hate talking about this, but I don't even know how I got it. I got it through networking. I got a write-up in Esquire magazine.
Yeah, that was insane.
I was like, what? Huh? You want to feature me? It was just wild, right? And I was like, cool.
Esquire magazine, 2 pages. Like,
Well, it was like the way it is. There's a guy named Booker Knoll, and Booker Knoll is the founder of Knob Creek, right? So Esquire branded content. Esquire and Knob Creek came together, and Booker Knoll's team goes, we want to feature entrepreneurs that had nothing, all right? And the best thing they said, this is one of the best quotes, we're the small batch for the media industry. You know what I mean? When that article came out, to go to your question, I said, I don't want to be the biggest media company. I am a small batch. I'm a craftsman in my own
Yeah.
way, right? And then I was just going, I need to be better at that. I need to be more focused. And then you probably asked my girlfriend one day, like, I'm driving 700 miles a day, just zoning off, listening to no music sometimes. And it's like ding, 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 ding. And then got across country. I'll fast forward just a little. We ended up in L.A. after cross country. It was Labor Day. I was like, we were supposed to go home. And I was like, I'm not ready. This is the beginning of September. She was like, go for it. And that is where the first time I said, I'm going to do something that I never thought I was going to do. I'm going to raise a couple of bucks, and I'm going to build the most insane advising investor group, which I still have room for some, just if you know anybody who wants to invest. And I'm going to have the best board of directors. And they're going to get me to scale because I did what I did. I proved the model.
Yes, 100%.
And identifying that I am not the one that's going to be able to get me to scale without this team is the hardest thing for a founder because there's egos.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, epiphany was, I can't do this on my own anymore. In Hawaii, yeah.
Wow. That's a big revelation.
That's hard.
That's hard to...
It's hard. It's like, I can't. Hawaii, if I was going to be...
But honestly...
I have so many questions, too. I'm
Go ahead,
holding,
go ahead.
No, I'm holding it in. Because I think you're in the role right now.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, that's insane, you know. That's amazing. That's such a...
It's hard. So what owner or founder wants to say, I can't do it sometimes? I can't. I can't. So that was it. So I said, I'm not going back. And you know what I did? She left. I said, I want this camper van on October 1st. I built my investor deck out, completed it. It's fucking every investor goes, this is the best investor deck I've ever seen. It's more designy. Like investor decks are trash.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like numbers. I'm like,
I know.
Excel sheets.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
horrible.
no, dude, if I'm in a curated space and I'm like, people are more geeked out on I was like, this is designed nice. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is how it is. So she went back. I said October 1st. Now, this is not the end. So October 1st, I go to L.A., because one of my best friends that is his company is investing. He goes, you got to talk to media companies and all that. And I was like, okay. But L.A. was dead, you know? So I was literally working out of a van in my buddy's driveway. And I'm like, ugh, right?
Yeah.
So my buddy in San Diego was like, get down here, dude. Let's go Encinitas. I went down Highway 1. I was like, now I'm back to the Hawaii vibe. And I'm like, this is cooler. He kind of refreshed me. And he was just like, and he's a good friend of mine. He's investing, not a lot. You know, I'm not getting a lot of money in. I'm just building a team. And that's why I tell everybody, like, my company, if you get the contract, you make money. You don't need. This is not like a thought out.
What's the minimum investment?
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
but it's not a lot, you know, because I
not
know
a lot in Jason Cutinella standards, but not a lot in Jonathan and Dewey standards.
I'm out of the league.
No, you'll be surprised.
I'm a tiny
Don't
little
forget,
guy.
I look at everybody. Like, I have friends that are Louis Vuitton money, and I have friends that are just like, hey, let's start a lemonade stand money.
Yeah.
Right? You know, so we'll talk. It's because we're founded in Hawaii, man. I gotta bring Hawaii to the Caribbean. Do you know what I mean? You know? So, yeah, but the point is like, she left on Labor Day. I hung out in L.A. for a couple weeks. I'm like, this is bad. My boy in San Diego was like, get down here. So I met him. He gave me, like, a little boost. He goes, what are you trying to do, Jason? And he's very successful. He goes, well, you know, a mutual friend, he's telling me to go to all these media companies. I'm like, dude, I'm not ready to talk to media companies. I'm not selling my company. I'm building it, right? I need to stick private, people I trust. If I start going to these bigger media companies, what are they going to do? Suck up my brain, and then before you know it, my company's done. So I went private. I said, fuck it. Anybody that invests in my company, I have to know. That's it. And that's hard because now you're battling friendships a little. So I went down there. I was like, thank you. I was like, now you know what I'm going to do? I drove back up to Portland. I have a couple investors in Portland. October 1st was a hard day for me. I gave up Purple Fish, the camper van. And I go, wait a minute, I'm not ready to go home yet. I'm in Portland, Oregon now. And I go, wait a minute. I know people in Aspen. I know people in Denver, Colorado. Texas buddy always said he's going to invest in me. Went to fucking Raleigh, Pennsylvania, Nashville, Washington. So I traded in the thing, and that was tough. I became a van dude. And, like, think of, like, the van life. You ever heard of that? I was like, wait a minute. I'm a van guy. I was like, what am I doing? So I rented a full-size V8 SUV.
Wow.
Well, you could get them for nothing.
Yeah.
I got it for $1,000 for a month.
Wow, that's cheap.
I was like, I'll take it, right? Beautiful. I was like, I'll sleep out of that motherfucker. But then I was just like, nah, now you're homeless. You know, like, like I look kind of scruffy already. I'm like, I can't go across country fucking in a full-size SUV that's like a cushion and it's coming out of the back of it. I was like, So I go, wait a minute, what do? I sell hospitality media. So I started hunting out these really boutique leisure hotels and staying in them. And you know what's wild? 70% occupied, 80% occupied.
Wow.
Because they're leisure, they're outdoors. It's like it's still nice.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I stayed at a friend's house. I finally was like, yo, you want to sleep on the couch? I was like, yeah. You know, because
The purple fish had you.
the purple fish had me. So I gave it up.
Humility.
Yeah.
Humility.
Yeah, that purple fish.
Fuck you up, man. It fuck you up.
It will.
It kicked all the New York out of you. It brought all Hawaiian back into your blood.
yeah.
New York was gone.
It made me
Yeah.
hungrier, man. to
Yeah,
be honest.
exactly.
Like, it was cool. I mean, and like, I could literally say I lived in a van for 3 months. You know, a month to me was like, oh yeah, that was a little excursion. It's COVID, and like, if it was up to me, I would have done this shit in March.
Yeah.
Because there was, remember Groundhog's Day? Like, March, April, May, June.
Same shit.
I was like, why? And like, I'm a curious dude, kind of like an explorer of some sorts. So I was like, fuck, I should have backtracked this motherfucker. I should have been doing this since like April or May. I did it, right? So then, then I was driving across. I ended up back east. I got to see my family, try to talk to clients. And then it was getting cold, and like, being in the cold and COVID in New York, who wants to? Nobody. Right? So, in the beginning of November, I said, all right, let's make the journey back west, back to Hawaii. So I did get on a flight because I work on airlines. I wanted to see how the airlines, are they clean, right? How are the airplanes? So I'm from New York. I literally went to Austin, Texas, down to San Antonio, drove back to Austin, flew to Spokane, Washington. There's a place called Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck goes there? It's beautiful.
Yeah, gorgeous.
There's an investor, lives there, all right? He's like, I was like, I'll come. He's like, yeah? I go, what's the airport? He's like, Spokane, Washington. I'm like, what? So then I landed there, and I was like, I knew I had to get back to Portland, so I rented a car again. And I got I got luck. It was a Nissan Armada, a nice.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So I got lucky because they're expensive. So I'll rent a car at a normal price, just regular. The trick is, if you find a good agent, upgrade like $10, no problem.
I still remember the tricks you told me on Uber app. With
Which
the
one?
$5 and save it and then turn it into business and he always finds ways.
I had so many
New
Uber
York.
credits.
New York, he always everything he touches, he finds a way to make it better.
Yeah, there's always ways, right? Yeah. So, now I'm in Spokane. I drive all the way to Portland. I do my Portland meetings. I fly from Portland to LA. And now it's becoming Thanksgiving time. And it's like, I need to get back to Hawaii. I finally said I need to get back because I'm like 3 days ahead of like COVID breakouts in cold weather. And I was like, I couldn't get a test, the COVID test. And I was like, well, I can't fly. I was supposed to fly the day before Thanksgiving. I found a place to get a COVID test. Simple. Upload it to the website. Yeah. Fucking boom. Flew back here. No quarantine. So I've been back for like almost a month now. And it's great to be back. And now I'm going to spend the rest of December into January reorging my whole company, filling out, like, it's so good to step back from a company and go, holy shit, look at all these missing parts. I never had an operations person. I never had somebody that was in charge of this. I never had that. And the point that I was saying is that from Labor Day until now, I built out this investors. Now listen to this Rolodex. Besides, and I can't mention the investors, but I can mention the board of directors. So a year ago in November, I was at a conference called Summit, right? But it's not like a business. It's like health and wellness. It's like kind of weirdy, culty in a weird way. I was always a little skeptical, but every year I went twice. I met a good friend. So last November, I'm sitting at a table, community dinner, right? We're drinking wine, we're having fun. You're not supposed to talk about business. I can't help it sometimes. And this lady goes, and this is where the key word, she didn't say work. She goes, when I ran my broadcast company, I always wished I had Louis Vuittons of the world. And I go, she said ran. So we're talking. She's like, I retired 2 years ago. And I'm like, shit, you must have did pretty good. Do you know what I mean? Like, she definitely wasn't, like, old. And I was like, oh, wow, you know? Like, do you mind telling me what you did? And she goes, I'm the former president of CBS.
No way.
I founded the CW network, and I also started a licensing division in CBS, the president. Long story short, she goes, next time you're in L.A., hit me up. I go, well, I'm going to tell her I'm going to be in L.A. no matter what, whether I'm in L.A. So I'm like, I'm in L.A. She meets. She goes, I did all the research on you. I would love to be on your board.
Wow.
So now I got this lady. I have the former president of CBS on my side, right? This lady helped me raise money because when I'm raising money and they're like, who's going to shepherd you to this next level? I'm like her. Now, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the president of CBS, and good for her, right? So now I have access to the former president of CBS. That's going to get me to this level. And now the other group of board directors that I'm going to, like, eventually be able to leak out, it's going to, like, on Hawaii standards, they're going to be like, fuck yeah. Let's roll. I just got off the phone yesterday. This guy's a legend. I've been a fan of him forever. There's a company called Gannett. It's a big media company, right? They used to be here. It used to be the Star Bulletin, right? They had newspapers, media company. This guy named Bob Dickey. Guy's a G. Unreal guy. Retired now. I'm on the phone with him on a Zoom yesterday. He goes, your focus. And I think this time outside of Hawaii made me go, wait a minute. It made me reanalyze and focus on what needs to be done. And that's what I said. It's the rebound. I told my team, it's all about the rebound and intense energy to get back on top. And that's why I'm able to do it. It's the team that I'm building. This group of investors go from my childhood buddies to like top level stuff, and they're all the same people. It doesn't matter. My email, when I send them the documents to invest, it's not about the money, it's about the group. It's collective. Like this group of, I call them advising investors, I hope they hang out and they do businesses on their own. My job is just to get the right people so I could tap, right? Hey, I got a problem with like operations or whatever. It's like I'm forming my own little club, and I like to say I'm building my own C-suite executive. The thing is, they're paying me.
What do you think is so special about you that people always want to invest? Do they trust your vision? Do they understand that you're sincere and that you're going to get it done? Do you think they see it in your eyes that you're a fucking go-getter?
I think it's the drive, and I think, yeah, that's the most part. I think if I was doing another business and I had the same drive, I think it's, yeah. I think they...
Yeah,
they
it wouldn't matter what kind of business you're doing.
Not this group of investors. Next time... You know, that's why I stopped going after media investors. Media investors are going to want to suck up your ideas and spit you out. Oh, thanks for your clients. I'm a threat, right, in the media space. So most of the time media companies or investors buy to get you out, right? And I'm not done, dude. I'm not fucking done. I'm not even thinking about it.
I kind of see you, at least your all the short films that you do kind of reminds me on Vice.
It's a great analogy, right? I think Vice is exactly the way you should look at it. The thing with Vice, which I'm careful at, is I think they took in too much investment now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have friends in Vice.
And they became a little bit too...
they're not captive,
too
controlled, and
socialist,
curated.
too lefty.
Yeah. But, I mean, you know, we're not a news source, but I think they lost focus. Do you know? To your point, like, but their model, they do all the shit that I say I do, but they're, you know, when you start getting Walt Disney money, dude, you're done. And like, but the owners, right? When the owners, I'm sure he's like, whatever. I'm a
Day.
Yeah. Like, but that, I'm not there yet, man. And I don't think my company will ever, like, eventually, if there's an acquisition, I'm gonna be, you know how careful I was with my investors. I'm going to be careful on who the acquisition would be, right? Because I'm still going to own part of this, right? Like, an acquisition is not selling. It's getting the structure in place and giving like a founder like me time to fly, right? If I had all the organizational structure and the foundation, we would be leaps and bounds ahead of where we are. I just didn't have that.
Let me ask you a question that personally is, really interesting to me. You know, you're a team guy, right? You work with your team, you're part of the team. How hard is it for you to understand that you're the founder, the CEO, and you tell everybody what to do and it's your vision, it's your yes or no, while being part of the team And because sometimes things get kind of wishy-washy. I know in my business, I like to be part of the team, so I go wash the dishes, I go to the kitchen, I do, I do whatever everybody don't want to do just to prove a point, kind of, lead by example.
I'm the same. I was the same guy.
But exactly, now you're doing the transition into understanding where you need to be. And I feel if I would have understand where I am maybe last year at 2019, where we won all those awards and did all sorts of crazy stuff, if then I would have let a big company, because we had a lot of offers.
Yeah, I know, man.
A lot of people called, they want to buy the business, they want to do this, they want to franchise. And I was holding on. No, I want to do it. I want to do it. Now Corona happened, and I'm like, oh my God, if I would have taken those offers.
So I had the offers, and the only way I could answer is now we know as founders. And now I'm going to implement the best team to fucking run my company. And all I'm going to do is articulate the vision better to my team. That's what I did wrong. So I was in the weeds with my team, and all they were asking for is to articulate the vision more and let us work. So that's what I'm going to do. So same thing, man. Like the same thing. I was in it because I'm like, I am about the team. I will pick up the boxes. I will distribute them. I was doing it all, right? But I'm going, I think my team wants me to step out, give a clearer message so they could go to work, right? And now I need to implement certain team members that are missing with an organization. So how much I like being part of the team, I always will be. My role now is the way I look at it, is to constantly inspire, constantly involve, and get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm still...
Wait. You just said it's so powerful. So the old Jason before the bus ride with the purple fish was blank. Express that, please. And the new Jason, the new CEO, the new founder coming back after 5 months on the purple fish in the van across the United States. I'd like to hear that. And the second part, I want you to define, maybe in words, maybe single words, the core values of the company now, after all that, if you can, please.
I'm going to start with that.
Okay.
And there's one core word, which I lost sight of.
Okay.
The company was based off of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Always me fishing in the purple fish. Always swimming around, dude.
Yep.
Always swimming around, figuring out what the thing is, right? Then the company grew. I'm in it now. My curiosity was being shelved, right? It was being, I'll get back to that, right? Shelved it. I'm in it. I'm selling. I'm doing this. I'm building, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
People think that's what you're supposed to do.
Block and tackle, basic, day-to-day shit. Yep.
Lost Mike, that's the core value.
Yep,
it says it goddamn on my website. Curiosity is like, I was like, if the founder's losing curiosity, who the hell's following this core value? So that's, I hope that answers that.
Yep.
Give me another, what's the other?
The first one was, what was Jason before the 5 months bus ride with the purple fish? You're right, the owner, the OCO. What is the new guy that's coming back now? There's more.
Perfect.
Okay.
Before COVID, I was a CEO running a company.
Uh-huh.
I'm a founder again.
Okay.
That's fucking straight up. I'm back. I am not the CEO. I'm the founder. I want to be introduced as the founder. That's what I told my team today.
Okay.
You're meeting the founder. Some of you knew him, and a lot of you didn't know him.
Yep.
And that's where I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
I'm not a CEO, man. When I could say my company is running smooth and I have all the people in line, I'm a CEO. Right now, I'm a founder, and that's what I am. So that's what. If that says it, if that answered it.
Well, I think for the audience, for a lot of, I mean, it's like we're like fucking 2 hours into it now, because it's so good. People out there are listening to us. A lot of them want to start their own business. We have ideas, and sooner or later we nut up enough money or figure out somehow, some way, we become founder of a brand. And like all founders, we have this thing, right? It's like our baby, right? Yeah, it becomes our baby, right? And just like our own children, we have this so much attachment and pride and whatever it is to it, so we want to do that. And what I heard from this whole podcast is like the realization that, wow, even though we're a founder, we have this idea, we cannot do it all.
Cannot.
Right?
Impossible.
Right. So most founders I know are great with ideas and phenomenal drive and all that. What they lack most of the time is nuts and bolts. Operations, consistency, set up, operation. Just get it run so smooth and clean. So therefore, it's like a running machine, right? Because the reason you didn't want to sell, or none of us want, both of you guys don't want to sell it because, man, it's my baby. I want to hang on to it. It could be worth more. It's like worth more. It comes back to that whole idea again that I always thought, it goes, man, if you start this business, right, Aroma Cafe and MG, if you had an exit strategy at the beginning when you first founded, probably help you, right? If you know you're going to sell this shit, absolutely, you got to run this thing from a financial, like accounting and operation type, because whoever's going to buy you, they want to buy a piece of shit because they got to go back and redo all this shit. This is not their core business, so they got to go in, not only redo all this shit, but they need you too, because without you, it's a brand they don't even know. So without exit strategy, a lot of time we don't know how to financial structure and operate structure our brand or company that we own.
You see, and I come from a place where having an exit strategy means you're not an entrepreneur.
Oh, no.
Because if you know already how you're going to get out of it, and I want to sell it, I want to grow it to sell it.
With you.
No. You
That's
will
what I
figure it
used to
out while you go. You will roll with the punches, and once you make that evolution/pivot and you understand you want to sell it,
right,
then you put the numbers, then you put the effort in that, then
and
you spend
need
the
the
money.
right people.
Yeah.
The right board director. What I'm telling you is Elon Musk knows exactly. When he started all his shit, he knew he's going to go public. That was the path. So therefore, he has to make sure every step along the way.
I didn't know any of my
So that's
steps.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's so important for everyone to listen out there. Go, look, even if you start a business, I'm with you, because when
you want to see, I really love where we're going with this, but there's founders, there's business owners, and there's a major difference.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people,
yeah,
I own a business, I'm successful. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's great. You have the right team, you're a business owner, you invested, you're a partner. But did you found something, to your point, I would not even be thinking about like any sort of acquisition or anything, 10 years ago. And I'm a founder is the one that is in the weeds, and the ones that the weeds get taken away from them, called COVID, and then the ones that are going to rebound with a 10 entity. I enjoy founders because we are, but founders, like for me, I got to a point going, I need a team and I need experts. I need good people. And I'm saying, like, I am not selling. An acquisition is all that means is building a structure and foundation for the employees to have a good foundation, so it's not a founder-run organization. That's what I learned from this trip. Is this going to be a founder-run organization? You know what that should be? 3 of us as partners, all different things, and we're not selling this thing, and we're going to crush it and have the best lemonade stand. I built an organization. I want to walk down the block in Honolulu one day and go, fuck, man, I founded that. Now it's running, and I created 100 jobs. If I could say that,
oh yeah, you did
that's
yours.
cooler.
100%.
That's cooler. And then the people, the one thing in the media landscape in Hawaii, there's no youthful-minded media company. And that is the thing, right? Like, my competitors are 20 to 30 years older than me running an organization. So let me think of this. Richard Branson, 70s, coolest damn fucking company ever. Virgin, he has the youth and the mindset of he knows who to bring in. That's where NMG will always be, whether it's called NMG or whatever. Hawaii needs youthful-minded. You could be old and have Richard Branson is older. Youthful mind has that. No organization. So we have creative talent in Honolulu, freelancers, contractors, but we don't have an organization. There's a ton of creative out here, and it's unfortunate that these creatives, talented people have to leave to go make money. And
that is
frustrating.
The biggest issue in Hawaii.
Yeah,
we have so many. For some darn reason, our land, our water, create this phenomenal artistry. Like Hawaii has the most amazing, from musician to all these. And you're right, they all have to leave Hawaii because there's no infrastructure to support musician and artists. And then when I say artist, I'm not talking musician, artists. content, video guys like Brett, all these guys, and they have to go somewhere else to do it, and then they come back. And when they come back, or even then, it's limited place for them to call home.
Well, if I could
To
create
make a
an
living.
organization for these people,
Yeah, I'm gonna hold you accountable to that, and I'm gonna cheer you on.
100%.
That's what I
No,
said.
I'm seriously, because if you can create this for all those local folks here, have a place called home, and they get to come home and create phenomenal content.
I'm already
to spread
scouting
the
out.
love of Hawaii.
I'm
all
scouting
in.
all these the locals that moved away already.
Yeah.
I'm like, not only come home, get on a plane and go do shit. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
a lot of
curiosity.
them,
Yeah, I think
a lot
those
of them
people
don't
that
have
left over here
yeah.
that already were willing to leave Hawaii, those are the people that you can send to fucking Caribbean. Those are the people that do
Caribbean. Let me know when you want me to talk about the Caribbean.
No, but
You got to come back another day,
but
dude.
people
Yeah, I
will
know,
boom
I
over
It's
there.
6 o'clock already. Shit.
Shit, I got to go to an ugly sweater party at 6, so I'll be late.
Yeah,
That's
you're
all right.
late.
All right. Well,
I can't thank you guys
Oh,
enough.
man.
it was
Oh,
120
fuck.
minutes of greatness. I would love to keep on talking to you. There's a little gift that we brought for you.
Oh, man. I'll do that.
So we wanna give you a little gift to show you our appreciation.
Oh, dude.
This is a 1970 felt pennant. Because
these
you're
are the OG.
OG.
Oh, my God.
Because you're running the town of Honolulu and you love Navy. There's a Navy pennant of Honolulu
Bro,
for
those
you.
pennants, thank you guys.
And
For
we
real?
have. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is for you. And we have this
hammer.
the Aloha Hammer Award. This is for you. And
This is
last
sick.
but not least, we're gonna have 5 what would you rather questions for you. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and because you won the Emmys and for Christmas and for all the New Year's,
Dang.
we have a bottle
What's
of
going on, dude? I'm
Moet
partying
Chandon.
tonight.
We
Christmas
ha-
Eve.
No air.
That's for the Emmy Awards. And now, are you ready, Mr. Jason Cutinella? Are you
Ooh,
ready?
I knew this was coming. I get nervous.
All right.
Yeah.
What would you rather? Produce the worst Hollywood movie or the best porn trilogy?
Worst Hollywood movie.
He's lying.
No.
He's
You
lying.
know what I mean? Because it takes bad movies to get to the top, man. You gotta produce a lot of bad to get up to the top.
To the good ones. All right. What would you rather? Never wear a hat again or never ride an Uber again?
Jeez, the
For
hat.
whoever knows Jason, he always wears a hat and he always rides Uber.
I guess I can't ride Uber. Unfortunately, I was born out of the womb with a hat on.
Okay.
So like, yeah, man.
Stay with a hat and forget about the Uber. Get
Well,
taxi.
you said Uber, so I could take a Lyft.
There you go. Okay, what would you rather? Adopt a puppy that always barks or a kitty that always farts?
Fuck puppy that always barks, man. I'm a puppy guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was sure you were going to say kitty.
Kitty,
I was
huh?
sure you're a kitty guy.
Nah, man, Beagle. My nickname, I have like 5 nicknames, so they call me Rodney the Beagle when I black out. All
No
my
way.
friends. Yeah, because I just have, Beagle all the way, bro.
All right, check this out. What would you rather? Hire Clark Kent as your editor or Bruce Wayne as your janitor?
Fuck Bruce Wayne to the fullest. Hell yeah, man. Bruce Wayne all the way.
All right, and last but not least, what would you rather, Jason Cutinella? Accept your next award in a Spider-Man suit or in tight leather pants?
Fucking, it's
Same
gotta be a
shit.
Spider-Man suit, man. Right? I think that, yeah, dude.
It would be unique.
Yeah, like
It would be
leather
unique.
pants, like you gotta be a fucking musician or fucking, you gotta have
Yeah, you
balls.
cannot. Yeah, you're right.
You know, it's like, yeah, like
leather
I-
pants. You got to be a rock star.
like Lenny fucking Kravitz, man.
Yeah.
Like he wears leather pants. No
He
offense,
can-
not
he can
Jason
wear 'em.
Cutinella. He wears a Spider-Man suit and he's drunk. You know.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming down. It was
Yeah.
a great pleasure. I think the audience was blown away from all the information that you gave them. I think it's very inspiring to see someone coming like you and taking something, seeing the potential, and just, bring that fruit to fruition. It's amazing. It's inspiring. Thank you for all the, good times. Dewey?
Hey, listen, it's cool. It's cool to hear that, for some reason this place is like magic, right? Everyone in the world, 8 million people come here every year, and everyone comes here sooner. They have the same thought: I want to live here, and very few, I think, less than whatever percentage. And for you to realize early on, even visiting here, decided, I want to make a change in my life and come here, and through your crazy mind, you create a company that employ all these wonderful local people here, and I think that's tremendous of you. I like to challenge you, though. Man, a lot of small business here, can get to that space that you're offering. That'd be cool if you can offer one scholarship a year for all these small business owners in Waikiki, to get them into the doorstep of your network and help them grow their business here. That'd be amazing. That'd be something that
that's a great idea.
The Aloha would be so proud to. I want you to come back one day and with that person and go, hey.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Next time you're at my website, do the scroll down menu and go under scholarships.
Okay.
There is scholarships.
Beautiful.
So I do scholarships, not for the businesses yet, but I do it for students.
Yeah.
And I offer them a couple of bucks, internship opportunity, and it's for the creative world, right? So they could come in and kind of get a thing and a couple of bucks. So I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
And I like that idea for like these startup businesses, and like we offer the production support, content. So yeah.
I mean, $2,000 for content is incredible. I mean, what you offer is amazing, Ray. But I thought it'd be kind of cool because to have a business in Waikiki, Johnny knows the rent's outrageous. And let alone, and a lot of time people go, I'd rather pay rent and spend less on marketing. But today world, you need both, right?
I also think that if Jason would come to a small company and would say, guys, just you hit the jackpot. We gonna do yada 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 yada. They're gonna be so blown away. Their aloha, their approach, their love. They're gonna go to their customers, to their friends, their family members, their neighbors. Is exponentially bigger just because they received something so powerful.
Because the content you provided.
Look at this, and this is all pro bono out of love. And my coworker Gerard, VP of network, kind of the main producer, Hawaii Theater for the Youth. We created a children's show this year called The Highway, and it's airing on Hawaii News Now. That was all out of the love, man. We completed 2 seasons, already on season 3. But that, it's like whether it's calling it pro bono or scholarship, like we never thought we would be in the kid space, right? And we worked a great partnership at Hawaii News Now, all right, with good local reach. So we're doing certain things that, especially during COVID, I told the team, let's stay present. Don't worry about the money. You can't charge somebody right now. It's a trickle-down effect, right? My landlord, great lady and husband, like, they knew I wasn't making money. They know what my business model is. They didn't even flinch on going, hey, what about 50%? What about not only 50%, what about never worrying about paying you back the other 50%? When she didn't flinch and said no problem, I'm like, well, that's a fucking dope landlord. You know what I'm going to do? Sign another 3-year lease.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, and I hear horror stories with some landlords going, oh yeah, we won't charge you. I'm like, but you're gonna ask for it back? That doesn't even make sense. Where does the money come from?
Right.
Some landlords really need to get their things straight.
Yeah, they should talk to mine. They're great. You know what I mean? Like, and 50% was hard, but it's like, no, you got it. 50%'s huge savings. And now she's working a scale-up process with me. You know what I mean?
That's gorgeous.
Well, you have a very good relationship to her. Some of the people over here in Waikiki are suffering.
It sucks, man. Like, that sucks.
That sucks.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's a write-off to the bigger brands, but the local, like, dude.
I would love to have you back, honestly, to talk more about,
the Caribbean?
Caribbean.
No, you're going to come back for that. But I think, for a lot of us, I'm hoping a lot of small business owners out there, because I think we when you share your story about founder, I mean, you connect with it. I connect with it.
That's why I think we always get along. And we're founders.
I know. So I think it's so important to come back and share more of that journey and kind of really.
Emmy's a founder episode. Get another founder.
Yes, I mean,
Dude,
Gary was. I mean, there's so many. But
Gary
gets
the passion difference between a business owner and a founder.
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah,
I don't care, man. I look at business owners in their eye, and it's like, when you stare, you're like, It's like a
You know, a lot of business owners wanted to become a business owner because they didn't want to work. They said, oh, fuck, I don't want to work. I can do it better. I'm just going to open a business. I'm going to be the boss, and I'm going to employ people to do it. That's a business owner. I'm going to employ people to do it. Or they buy in.
Yeah.
A founder is one that is every fucking piece of sweat and tears. Everything is part of the founder.
That's why I feel like I'm just eliminating my title until I earn it. Do you know what I mean? I think I earned founder, like CEO, man. My company's not running smooth. Why do you think I'm bringing these people in? If it was running smooth, I'd be like, yeah, I'm the CEO. I'm like,
well, if you're ever looking for a right-hand man or a waterman, I'm looking for a
and
job.
vice versa on you, man. You know, it's funny. My buddies just opened a pizza shop in Chinatown, Mamo. Pizza Mamo.
Ooh.
It's fucking good, from a New Yorker. And I go, if somebody calls out on Sunday, can you guys teach me to make pizzas? Because that's how I'm just curious again. Like, I being 100% of the time, shouldn't I know how to make a pizza?
Yeah,
The answer is yes.
You should.
You know, and I don't know how to make a pizza. So, like,
Shame on you.
I might start working.
Shame on you.
I might, for pizza. I'm going to work.
Cootie.
I'm
Your
gonna
new
come.
nickname for
I'm gonna
me is
come eat your
Cootie.
pizza.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Maybe that's my next thing. But
All right,
All
that's
right,
it.
Thank you very
Hey,
much,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
Yeah.
Good night. Much
Aloha.
love.